as long as you have that one main guy in the quarterback, you're going to continue to win. And so that's kind of where I look at it from, too. I'm like, that's a great way to put it, Dusty. They're turning their roster over to stay relevant.
Without
as well.
you seeing it, because it's such a blow-up of a move.
Yeah.
Where you're like, dude, we got Luka, and then it's like a year from now, it's like LeBron's retired. It's
yeah,
like,
well,
remember that
we
Luka
got
trade?
Luka. That's why they did it. That's exactly what. Why did we draft? Nick Bolton, because Derek Johnson is leaving. Why did we draft
Watson,
Larry Johnson, because Priest Holmes is leaving?
Why they draft
whoever?
Alex Smith?
Right.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah, but that's what the good organizations do, and that's how you stay on top. You just can't fall in love with certain players. Now, I'm going to be interested to see what this Dallas thing is. Remember, they have new owners now, too, right? And so
they regret that.
I mean, so, like, if Mark Cuban doesn't own that team anymore, he's no longer in charge of anything down there. It's a company that owns a bunch of casinos that's trying to get a huge casino and new arena built in Dallas. So maybe they're just trying to cut costs as well. Like, there's got to be a backstory that we don't know as to why he was traded. Because you're right, on the surface, it looks terrible. But if you start digging and figure out why, there has to be a reason why. Like, that general manager has to justify to his owner why they're doing that, unless the owner just said, get rid of the salary, we're done here with this.
Well, I mean, the backstory may be true. He may be a terrible guy, all those things. You still got to let people know you're trading him. Get a bidding war going. The Lakers were the only team that knew he was being traded. Mm-hmm. Sell him.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's crazy to me. Like, I know there's a lot of storylines and blockbusters.
Or
like
maybe
this.
he said, I'm only going to the Lakers, so go.
He didn't know he was being traded.
I mean, there could have been conversations behind the scenes and
I
stuff
think
of
this
that
is
nature.
one of those things where, like, Jeannie Buss and whoever the owner is for the Dallas Mavericks had a conversation over the phone, and they were like, hey, are you serious about this? Because to me, there were three main storylines. The L.A. side of it, the Dallas side of it, and then the side of it which was not even LeBron James knew this happened. And I'm sorry, but LeBron James is the face of the NBA. He has been. He's one of the most popular guys in the world. He's one of he is the most popular guy in the sport. And for him to get done with the game, go back to wherever he was at and be like, I'm sorry, what? Like,
I love it. I think it's great.
I mean,
he doesn't need to be involved in the conversation. He's not management. Like, I don't think players need to be. I don't care who you are.
Do you think Mahomes was in the conversation the Tyreek Hill trade?
No. I do not.
Okay.
No, I don't. I think once it got close, they probably told him they were going to do it, but I don't think they went to Patrick Mahomes and said, do you think we should trade Tyreek Hill? Or how would you feel about trading Tyreek Hill?
I just would think the verbiage would have been like, do you think we'll be okay if Tyreek wasn't on the team?
I think that and I don't know this to be fact, but I kind of feel like maybe Mahomes said, if you want to trade him, get rid of him, fine. You know, we're going to be just fine without Tyreek Hill. And so I don't think LeBron deserves a say at all. The last time LeBron had a say, he brought his son to work. I mean, so like LeBron has no credibility from building a roster, in my opinion. So you don't involve him, and it's a nice surprise for LeBron.
What if I told you that drafting LeBron James's son would get you Luka Doncic? Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, LeBron, we let you have your choice. You brought your kid to work one day,
doubt.
and he sucks, by the way. Like, as a dad, you got to talk. You got to stop that, man.
Okay.
You got to stop that train. That's embarrassing. As a father, he should be humiliated what he's doing and putting his kid out here to do this stuff. This is nonsense.
He might get there.
It's a joke.
We're broadcasting live from Radio Row in New Orleans thanks to our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of your Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Drink responsibly. Coming up, the New York Post has some storylines, and we ask you some of your favorite things in New Orleans. We're new here. Bob's not, but Mac and I are here. We're losing our V card on Bourbon Street. Let us know what we need to do moving forward here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, if you're headed out to the big game or you're just traveling, you need to park at Park and Go because they've got an unbelievable facility with all covered parking. Your car will never be exposed to the elements when you park at Park and Go because it's all covered, whether it's rain, whether it's sleet, snow, hot, heat, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be there protected for you at Park and Go. And when you decide you're going to make a trip, you make that flight reservation, you need to make your parking reservation right away at bookparkandgo.com. Take care of it right then and there. Reserve that covered spot for yourself, and that way you're ready to go on the day of your flight. And also, prepay. You're going to save money as well when you prepay at Park and Go. So then you've got your reservation made, you've prepaid, you're set. Show up on the day of your flight, give them your reservation number, they direct you right to that covered parking spot, and as soon as you get in it, the van meets you and takes you right to the airport terminal. terminal. You're there in no time at all. When you get back, just grab your bags, walk off the plane, and Park and Go will get you right back to the trunk of your car in a matter of seconds. So do what we did and join their frequent Parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig, an absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly.
It's Super Bowl 59 week, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel makes it easy to place your bets and feel the thrill of every moment. Here's some of the fun bets in the app right now. Saquon to record 25 or more rushing yards in each quarter. Either quarterback to catch a pass. Jalen Hurts to score an octopus. A big man touchdown, and any offensive lineman to score a touchdown. And how about Noah Gray to score 2 touchdowns? Just place a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/Alex and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Where can you find an extensive line of Blue Demon welding supplies, filler, rods, and wire? Metal by the Foot, located in Casey and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Missouri side, 71 southbound past 75th Street with an accident. Left lane was blocked on that side. That side looks to have cleared. Northbound, the left lane also blocked with delays that stretch back almost to Bannister. Attention drivers, the time to buy is now at Metro Ford. Like a low mileage 2021 four-wheel drive Ford Explorer XLT with captain's chairs and remote start for just $31,700. Every eligible pre-owned vehicle comes with a 5-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Visit Metro Ford on Noland Road in Independence or shop online at kcmetroford.com. Metro Ford, driven to exceed your expectations. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Fescoe and Dusty live in New Orleans all week long. 96.5 The Fan. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
I don't know what's up on the Raptors up there, but there's a little seat in like each window, unless those are fans. But there was a guy rolling around on a cart up there, and I want to take that ride and just take the selfie stick and stick it on the outside. Just take a recording of like the entire area of Radio Row down here. Obviously, not a whole lot of people here yet. They'll get here though. They're starting to wake up. I was walking into the lobby, kind of walking around, get a little coffee with a little almond milk. They were starting to come up the escalators and start to wake up. We've obviously been 2.5 hours ahead of them. As we are live at Radio Row here for you in New Orleans as we give you coverage of the big game of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. We are live on Radio Row New Orleans, brought to you by the Academy of Sports and Outdoors. Kansas City is gearing up for their third straight title, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to rep your team during their historic run. Mr. Fescoe, there is an article that is out, right, about the top storylines of the Super Bowl. We try to guess these on Friday.
Yeah.
And I think we did pretty well. We picked up a Yahoo article and thought we'd see what theirs were. Some of them were the three-peat hatred. Some of them were Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I'm interested to know what their number one storyline is.
Well, I think if you're looking at the New York Post, their number one storyline is the Saquon Barkley effect. And I think as the week goes on, that is going to become a bigger and bigger storyline because I do believe that he is the guy that America is rooting for right now. He's Patrick Mahomes of 4 years ago, in the Super Bowl for the first time, somebody that everybody started to root for this year, had a dynamic season, did things we'd never seen before. Like Saquon Barkley was an electric football player and showed the world how good he could have been.
He's also likable.
Yeah, we get to with Patrick Mahomes, very likable type of guy as well. And Saquon Barkley is the type of guy that you can root for no matter what team you're a fan of, except the Chiefs this week. Saquon Barkley, I think, is that guy that every fan base looks at that guy and goes, man, I'd like to see him win a championship. Like, he's just an easy guy, a fun guy to root for, and I think everybody still kind of feels a little bit sorry for him that he was in New York and had to waste all those years and all that talent either being hurt or playing on a bad team. And now he gets that first opportunity to show how good a football player he really is, and he gets that chance to do that. Because I think in life, I think Saquon Barkley is a good example for a lot of us that have been held down before and not had the opportunity to do everything we wanted to for whatever reason. And then you finally get that opportunity, and not only did you kick the door down, you destroyed that door and ran right through it, and now here you sit on the Super Bowl. So I think Saquon Barkley is going to be one of the biggest storylines from a football perspective that everybody's talking about this week. And I think we're going to hear more people say, I want to see Saquon Barkley get a Super Bowl championship than we will Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, anybody else inside that organization. Saquon Barkley is going to be the sympathetic choice for a lot of people to see win a Super Bowl. And if the Eagles do win this game, I mean, Saquon Barkley probably going to be your MVP of this game, because I think that's the only way that the Eagles do win this game is if Saquon Barkley absolutely takes over and is a beast out there running the football. And if he is, then he should get the MVP in the Super Bowl. So I think he is kind of that number one storyline from a player standpoint that everybody's going to be watching. And then obviously the three-peat has to be the other big storyline in this as well, because the Chiefs are trying to do something that has never, ever been accomplished before. And when you have something like that, that kind of narrative usually does take over.
Yeah, I like the Saquon Barkley aspect of the fact that he is the perfect, protagonist in that we talked about earlier. He's the typical protagonist in this whole movie that we're watching, which is Philadelphia versus Kansas City, Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Right? Like, Mahomes was cool about 3 years ago.
Right.
Everybody was like, oh, this guy's just wicked talented. Like, he's the next Tom Brady. Be careful what you wish for. And you see that happen. Like, winning becomes evil, I guess is the way you can look at it, right? Like, Steph Curry became hated. When Golden State, and we talk about this all the time, when Golden State was doing their thing, it was cool. And then we started nitpicking, chewing on the mouthpiece, and turning before the shot went in, which is absolutely sick. Like, if you're a sports geek and you can see a guy shoot a three and then turn around and walk down the court before it's even fallen in. But, like, you look at, this is the new. Like, people forget, like, that's how much of a dominant factor a three-peat is and how dominant the Chiefs have been throughout this entire run, is that people forget that Philadelphia was just here 2 years ago and their head coach sucks. Like, I'm sorry, like, Philly can get mad at me for saying that drop, but, like, Nick Sirianni is not a guy that people root for. Big Dom, that whole storyline's kind of like, it's kind of clownish. And, you look at the attitude of this team earlier in the year, it was like, Jalen Hurts sat down and was like, was that what y'all wanted? Like, first off, the media and us were not wanting you to throw the ball. That was your team. That was your receivers saying that they need to get you the ball, or you need to get them the ball. So when you address the media and say, are you all happy with that? Like, that wasn't us, man. Like, that still was Philadelphia this year. And within a matter of 6 weeks, they played the big bad wolf, the Chiefs. Like, here come the Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. man, I really like this Saquon guy. I think it's fine that A.J. Brown's reading on the sideline. It's like, It's funny how your perspective changes over to the fact that you're going against the dominant factor, which is the Kansas City Chiefs, for a three-peat. I, for one, am a little slightly, maybe I shouldn't be flabbergasted, that, that this sort of significance of history is hated that much that nobody wants to see it. But if not the Chiefs, then who?
Right.
Like, who would you like? Because here's the thing, Bob, is if the Lions were going for a three-peat, people are like, whoever's playing the Lions, I don't care. Like, and that's a team that everyone is rooting for, even like us as people that have seen greatness over the last 7 years. You're still hoping the Lions at some point, man, I'm rooting for you to get one. I hope you get one someday. And even if they were en route to a three-peat, I think people be like, I'm just kind of tired of Campbell, the whole like narrative of Jared Goff. It's just crazy that literally Sirianni, the most annoyed coach in the most annoying coach in the league by most people that watch, and A.J. Brown, who was not a team guy, now everybody's rooting for that team because they don't want to see a team who's done it 3 times in a row, clean, respectful, and honest.
Well, I think Saquon Barkley does add to that, though. The good of Saquon Barkley and who he is and what he's not been able to accomplish in his career, I think outweighs all of that. I think people root for the good in Saquon Barkley as opposed to rooting against the bad.
He's the most likable part of that team. The only likable part.
He is. I mean, and he's one of the most likable guys in all of the NFL. And if he's on your team, you love Saquon Barkley to death. And even if he's not on your team, you love Saquon Barkley. So I do. I think he's going to have a major impact all week long about what people are talking about. And
so he's Mike Trout.
Yeah. I
never won anything.
But
came from a bad franchise. Like if you were to go play for the Yankees, you'd be like, sucks he plays for the Yankees, but kind of like Mike Trout.
Yeah,
at least he's gonna get one.
Yeah, you'd like to see more. Or he goes to the Dodgers, or like if he goes there.
They're running out of roster spots. Maybe they got to cut guys with 182 ERAs in the bullpen.
They're gonna have to cut guys making $182 million because they don't have enough room on their roster for everybody that they're signing. But no, I do. I think Barkley is the number one storyline behind the three-peat. And then what I hope is not a storyline, but it's already been discussed around Radio Row, and we've been here since 5:30 this morning or whatever. It has been the referees. Like I really hope the referees are not visible in this game on Sunday because I don't want anything to try to tarnish or ruin or get in the way of what the Kansas City Chiefs are going to try to do. And that's what people are going to want to do. They're going to want to find a reason why the Kansas City Chiefs aren't deserving of this because I do think this week from a national standpoint, there is going to be a lot of running down, if you will, of the Chiefs. It's going to be a pro-Philly week on the national media, and it's going to be like, okay, the Chiefs are here, the referees have an impact on the game, and all this kind of stuff. So I just hope when Sunday comes along, the referees do not have an impact on the game, and they're not somebody and something that gets involved in this game because I don't want to be sitting here on Monday morning talking about officials and how a call went the way of the Kansas City Chiefs and didn't go way of the Philadelphia Eagles. But everybody's going to be sitting around waiting for that one call that they perceive to be unfair or the call that they perceive to be rigged by Roger Goodell that's going to kind of set the tone for everything that happens in that Super Bowl game. So people are waiting for that as well in this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's, I don't know. It's just the fatigue you just bring up, all that sort of stuff. I get it. It's, the agony of it.
But I have fatigue as well with the Philadelphia Eagles because I sit here and I look at everything that they've done, and all we see is about Howie Roseman, and how great Howie Roseman is. Nobody is talking about the legacy that Brett Veach has created here in Kansas City and the legacy that's being created by him as being the general manager of this football team. And I think that is a lost storyline as well that I would guess most people in the football world who are fans probably have heard the name Howie Roseman. Many don't know who Brett Veach is. And so they're praising this guy who's won one Super Bowl as a general manager.
I thought it was
this
great roster for the Raiders.
He could be. Assembled this great roster for the Philadelphia Eagles. And meanwhile, people are spitting on Brett Veach and acting like, he hasn't done anything. And who is this guy? Because Andy Reid has taken over. But, where is the love for a general manager who has created this roster and has the foresight and vision to move on from players before fans are ready to move on for them, even though it's the right thing to do. So, give that guy credit.
We're broadcasting live from Radio Row in New Orleans thanks to our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of your Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, drink responsibly. And also the big game coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Community America Credit Union. Member-owned, open to all, invested in you. Join today at CommunityAmericaCredit.com. Coming up on the other side, DJ. Live, coming here, over the phone, on the air, in New Orleans, in Kansas City, all on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Missouri sports fans, I've got great news for you. Underdog is available to play in your state. The best app for your big game party is actually on your phone. It's called Underdog. It's the best place to cash in on all of your takes during the big game. Which players are going to go off and which ones are going to be ice cold. And with their Champions game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. And they've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. And with Underdog's double flex option, you can even take 2 L's and turn them into a W. We love the Underdog app at our place, and I can't wait to get going to see who is going to be higher or lower than all of their stats this week at the big game. Underdog is the best place to play champions. Sign up and deposit now with promo code BOB to get $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And if you're in Missouri, you'll get an additional $50 in bonus cash when you play your first $5 entry with promo code BOB. Must be 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. $10 deposit minimum. See UnderdogFantasy.com for terms and conditions. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
It starts as a nuisance, and you just put up with it. But then that awful joint pain impacts everything in your life. Walking, climbing stairs, even getting in and out of the car hurts. Hey, it's Bob Fescoe. I'm talking about that always there joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. But here's the good news. QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain. Long-term relief is now possible with no downtime. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients would tell you, don't wait. Make the call today. These new orthobiologic cellular therapies, including PRP treatments, can revitalize your joints without going under the knife. Look, joint pain doesn't get better with time, so before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for these life-changing regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
East side, 435 southbound. You're slow rolling a little past Front Street. Stay sluggish, not quite to Winter, with a stall that's off to the right shoulder, partially blocking the right lane. 71 northbound, still sluggish from 87th up towards 75th, with a problem on the left shoulder. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Diving right back into it live from Radio Row on a Monday, covering the big game against the Eagles and the Chiefs. Gigantic football matchup. Extraordinary event on Sunday, February 9th. I don't know how many other ways you can do it, but man, I'm getting ready. You start to kind of look around, get the feels, see the sights, soak it in. The shock factor wears off. I don't know how people's week go back home. I know from past experiences, you get over Monday, and then the rest of the week kind of starts to become a gravy train on biscuit wheels, right? You start to kind of get to the feel of, you're like, okay, well, tomorrow's Wednesday, and then, hell, Friday's a really fun day, and then by the time you get to Saturday, you're just like, all right, let's just have an easy night. We know tomorrow's a Super Bowl, yada, 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 but it is that time of the year, and once again, the Chiefs sit here. We'll have Derek Johnson join us here shortly on our show here on Fescoe and Dusty, but I think I found something that Bob finds quite annoying.
Oh, wow, okay, what's that? That's a long list.
Yeah. I feel like he, on the escalator, not a fan of people that just stand.
No, get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, dude, I just watched it. We went for coffee and refills, and I'm like, you going up to it? He's like, yes. And I'm like, you're not going anywhere. I mean, I'm watching him go up, and I'm just like, good luck.
You're right here with me, buddy.
Wall.
I mean, I could have said, could you please move? And I was like, we're almost to the top. But, like, on the moving walkways or escalators, stand to your right, walk to your left.
Absolutely.
It's not that hard.
That's
it really
fair.
isn't.
It's like the airport. Do you do the...
That's what I just said. The moving walkway or the escalators, move to your right, walk to your left. Yes.
It's tough. But yeah, I could just feel the frustration.
Yeah, the tension of just.
I was watching
get
from
up
behind.
there.
I was like,
it's just self-absorbed people. I just don't have time today for this. Like, we're in a
stand.
society here, man. Move out of the way. Let people do their thing. And,
it's a
and
society
move forward.
stands.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a society. I mean, here I'm trying to walk up the escalator. You're just standing there taking your time to get up to the top because you don't care where you're going. You're not in a rush. I am. Move over.
Yeah.
His show doesn't start till 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting when we talk about the hatred for the Chiefs and everything like that. I mean, I just, I still, we do this every week. I feel like we have this conversation every single week. I understood the Patriots hate. I understood the non-like for maybe like the Rams when they were considered the greatest show on turf, a name they gave themselves, maybe. But, I mean, I guess the winner's fatigue is a real thing, and I never thought it would be a real thing.
Well, I don't know, when we sit back and think about, like, the Patriots fatigue, I look at it completely different than these two teams are, like, related. I know they are, but it's not. It's a different run than what the Patriots went on. The Patriots had a fun run when they first started this thing, just kind of like the Chiefs did. But then they developed themselves to be total heels. They developed themselves to be cheaters. And they developed themselves to be a very unlikable bunch. And when you have all of that kind of come together as one, you're looking at a situation where, hatred is going to be developed. And New England embraced that hatred, as they should have. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to embrace that hatred, and you want to embrace being a cheater, and you want to embrace being a cheater again, and all all that kind of stuff that went with that New England dynasty. You embrace that kind of stuff when you're in those cities. But that's the difference between what we're looking at right now with the Chiefs and what we're thinking about with, this dynasty compared to that dynasty. They're not a hated group of players and a group of people like the Patriots were. Like the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think you hated the Dallas Cowboys. Like, you didn't like them, but they weren't like a hated bunch of guys. They weren't out there cheating and compromising the game and all that kind of stuff. They were having fun off the field, and I'm sure people didn't like that. But from an on-field standpoint, they weren't cheating. The 49ers were never like a team that everybody hated because they were doing things out of the norm. I think the Patriots dynasty and the way that all went down with the cheating has now given everybody the perception of this is how dynasties are. And instead of embracing them for what they are, rare, unique, and awesome, we try to find ways to poke holes in them because of what the New England Patriots did and how all of that went down. And even if you want to take it one step further, the Houston Astros in baseball, I know we're sitting by the Houston people, they were cheaters as well and kind of, gave, the sport a bad name like that and gave dynasties a bad name. Oh, Houston only won all those years because they cheated. And so now people think if you're winning and you're establishing success for a long period of time, you must be doing something wrong. You must be cheating. You must be skirting the system. The referees must be on your side. The commissioner's in your pocket. There's no way that you can just do this normal, and you can do this because you work harder and are smarter and better than everybody else. And that's the big problem that I have with the hatred towards the Kansas City Chiefs, is that we sit in a spot right now in life where instead of praising this team for literally doing everything the right way, people are trying to find ways to knock them down because the Patriots blazed this trail of nastiness the 20 years prior to all of this. So instead of embracing a dynasty and talking about how great it is, it's how is this happening? It must not be real. They're cheating, as opposed to just saying, no, they're just better prepared than you. They're ready. The Chiefs are ready to go for the Super Bowl in October. Dirty little secret. They were ready to go in October for this game. So they're just better than you. They know what they're doing. They know how to win. Good teams don't make mistakes. Good teams don't shoot themselves in the foot. Good teams don't commit penalties. And here we are talking about, a dynasty and a Kansas City Chiefs team and poking holes in everything that has been just great and wholesome with this organization and with this run that they're on right now.
All right, let's get to Derek Johnson, who joins us now here on 96.5 The Fan.
He's the Chiefs' all-time leading tackler and four-time Pro Bowler.
Derek Johnson picks it. He's up the right sideline, 30-yard line, 25, and down into Washington territory. Derek Johnson.
But to us, he's our forever linebacker.
I want to be battle tested. I want to go through some adversity. I want to go through some things where you say, "Oh man, we gotta figure this out."
Here's number 56, Derek Johnson, with Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
That's right. Derek Johnson, brought to you by Community America Credit Union. Community America Credit Union, member owned, open to all, invested in you, and also Sheet Metal Workers, local number 2. DJ, you gonna make it to Sunday, or you already amped up, ready to run through the wall, put the pads back on, and go take on Saquon Barkley?
No, man, I am ready to get out there and help them win, but I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. But I tell you what, man, I will be down for the weekend. I'm not sure if I'll go to the game. I want to watch the game when it's in a comfortable setting. But I tell you what, man, you were right on. I was just listening to you guys about I got an echo right now. I don't know why. Is there an echo going on, y'all?
No, we hear you just fine. That's something, we're down in New Orleans, and Nathan's back there. Okay. There's probably a button he got to hit back there to make sure that, you don't hear the echo, so we'll try to get that.
We're on it, DJ,
we're on it. We'll get that in a second, but you were talking about just kind of listening in earlier.
Yeah, just listening in and you guys talking about the dynasty and being hated. That is so true, man, and that kind of sucks. It's like, man, you almost have to make up some stuff to poke holes in the Chiefs football team. But instead of hating, man, people need to figure out how to beat us, because this train is not stopping, man. We people coming in, in and out of this organization, and now I'm just so proud to be a Chiefs fan. And trust me, everybody that's talking and hating on the Chiefs, they're not Chiefs fans, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I do really believe, DJ, that New England's behavior and the way that they cheated and were just mean and nasty during that 20-year run, I think it really has had a residual effect on the Chiefs because people are just looking for ways to say they're not good instead of saying they're great and let's embrace the greatness that's going on right now. We live in such a world where we're always just trying to point out why things shouldn't be working and why things are bad instead of sitting back and go, my God, they're laying the blueprint for the way to do it the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's something that's hard for the world to take, just because we're dominating in a fashion that hasn't been done before, and the way we're doing it, right? Just like when Patriots did, they did it well, and they were really good. But they had some elements and some events that happened where you say, "Oh, wow, that maybe gave them a little bit of edge." But we're winning in a sense of, man, they're like, hold on, let's see, let's pick out something. We have to pick out something. It can't be this great, but it turns out we are.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like people just don't want to believe and don't want to accept that some teams can just be greater than everybody else and better at things, like the little things, and doing the right things all the time. Like, people are having a hard time embracing that the Chiefs just do everything better and at a different level right now than everybody else in the NFL.
Yeah, they do. They do, and I'm proud to be a Chiefs. When you look at it, it's just unbelievable, man, from offense to defense. And don't get me wrong, we have Pat Mahomes, we have people that are superstars on our team. But I tell you what, man, you cannot sit here and not talk about our defense and what Spags has done during this run, during this dynasty, and being able to come back to the Super Bowl and have a chance for a three-peat. That is unbelievable. I mean, I think, and you are right, I think we had that on our mind at the beginning of the season. Most people, that'll get them distracted. Like, we're very mature. Andy Reid's a big part of all of this success at the end of the day, and he has these guys in position to do something that's never been done in the history of the National Football League, which is that's crazy.
DJ, when you see the storylines that are maybe not as talked about as much because we haven't seen a whole lot of people practice, but you got to think that with Philadelphia's left guard and their center being pretty banged up and not 100% chance they're going to go for this game on Sunday, seeing that as a middle linebacker, when you know that that's where they're wounded, is that where Spags will focus, or will he kind of, still go to the beat of his own drum?
No, the good thing about National Football League, it's all about matchups. And being able to see where the weak link is, that's a thing. That's actually a skill that Spags and other defensive coordinators and other coordinators in the league they try to figure out, because somehow you got to get the edge. Like, regardless of who's in the Super Bowl, like, everybody's pretty good. So we're all pretty even. This is not going to be a game where you say, oh, somebody's going to, really have the upper hand. We're the top of the tier. So it's going to be freaking close the whole way through. How do you get that extra edge? Do you put Chris Jones on a guy that hasn't played much, or do you do some TE games with the defensive line just to give them some different looks, or line up in an exotic look just to get them all flustered because they have a couple guys that haven't played much. So it's going to be fun to see what Spags comes out. But trust me, it's not going to be regular, whatever he does.
Yeah, it's going to be something, you're right, that we haven't seen. And again, that goes to the beauty of what this organization is all about, presenting things to the opposition that they've never seen before, things that they're not ready for, just being more, in tone or in touch, I guess you could say, with details than the other teams are. And, I mean, we saw a play, what was it, in this last game against Buffalo, Patrick, or no, I guess it was Houston, the quarterback, rollout sneak for a touchdown and whatnot. Like, things that we haven't seen before on offense, things that we haven't seen before on defense. It was the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
You keep the opposition off guard. You keep the opposition on their toes, and that's why they're good. Like, you can study tape for hours of these guys, but you know there's going to be stuff on there that you have never seen before. And just to kind of go back to Spags and how good he is, Najee Johnson said last week, we knew exactly where, these guys were going to go. We knew exactly what was going to happen because they're prepared better. Like Dave Tobe being prepared on a field goal block. Like, these coaches just prepare their guys better than everybody else.
Yeah, that's a great point. Being able to stop the run also helps you to get in these exotic looks, especially on the defense side of the ball. That you got to earn the right to rush the pass. You got to earn the right to pull out those special exotic plays that Spags has thrown up, and all the guys love being able to play a regular two-man coverage, but make it look all exotic and them moving. Just kind of, I saw a couple clips the other day. And I'm like, man, the quarterback has to be flustered. He has to hold the ball longer because Spags gives him so many different disguises, so many different looks. But at the end of the day, being able to have Nick Bolton, those guys in the middle to help stop the run so we can earn the right to pull out those exotic plays. It's going to be a task. It's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Saquon is Saquon. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
How would you approach Saquon Barkley in this game if you were playing the Nick Bolton position, the captain of that defense? Like, how do you stop this guy?
Well, you got to get enough people around the ball. Everybody has to. When you're in the game, it's not. That guy's on the tackle, let me jog over here. Everybody is running like their heads on fire to the ball because Saquon will make a couple people miss. That's happening, right? And as a coach, you're not coaching on the sideline. Hey, you got to grab him at the legs. You got to make sure you hold on. And no, we know all that. Hey, you do the best you can. Somebody else is coming because he's going to make a couple people miss. But that's when the ball comes out. That's when you can have an opportunity to punch it out, do that peanut punch or whatnot. But you got to get enough people around the ball to tackle this guy. One person is not going to. I don't care how good you are on defense. One person is not going to take this guy down. We need a few more players, which we do have. Our defense is really good, not just defensive linemen and linebackers, but our DBs can tackle too. So we got a lot of active guys that'll be around Saquon. So I'm pretty confident that not that we will shut him down, but we will minimize him where he is not a factor that really handicaps us during the game.
Yeah, because I think, quite honestly, DJ, he's the only guy that has the ability to beat the Chiefs. And if they shut him down, boom, I think this is a game that the Chiefs go ahead and win in a pretty big way.
Yeah, and you want to put Hurts in that situation. Not that Hurts can't throw the ball, but when things are very comfortable, just like a Lamar Jackson, when things are very comfortable for these running quarterbacks that can throw. The whole, if you can't stop them, their running game and that offense and what they do over there, it's going to be a long day because Hurts can run too. So it's you don't want to get into that problem. You want to stop that early. Now DB's going to have to play some one-on-one down the field for that to happen. So we're going to have some 50-50 balls that's going to be up in the air, and we're going to have to come down with them.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what you got to do: get the big play, get the turnover, force that team into a mistake, and you got an opportunity to win.
Yeah, and it's just do we have the confidence to do it? Absolutely. We can win literally. Like, we're probably the only team in the National Football League that can win any fashion, literally any fashion. I mean, it comes from getting sacked, or it comes from getting interceptions. It comes from special teams, kick return, or block punt, and obviously on the offense side of the ball, you don't think that we are a big running team, but guess what? We can win running the ball. Like, we could win running the ball, and we know about Patton, what he can do with his arm, and Kelsey and those guys, and being able to have those weapons on the outside. This is going to be fun. I really don't know how we're going to get the win because we've won every single way this season. I know Andy Reid and the Chiefs are going to figure it out, and it will come down to the wire every single time, and usually we come out with a dub.
Well, DJ, two things. Did we fix the echo for one?
Yes, we did. We did.
Okay.
Halfway through, I'm like, oh man, I can roll now.
Praise be. And then two, hey, I've only been in New Orleans for 24 hours. Do you have any advice for me food-wise or like what I should do in recreational downtime?
Oh my goodness! What can't you do down there? I mean, when it comes to just make sure you keep drinking water, if that makes sense.
Okay, no, I understand. Yeah, yes, sir. Hey, man, enjoy the game. Enjoy the road to the three-peat. We appreciate the time, and hopefully we're talking to you on a Victory Monday a week from today.
Oh, yeah. Let's go Chiefs, baby.
No doubt about it. Derek Johnson, Community American Credit Union, member-owned, open to all, invest in you, and Sheet Metal Workers, local number 2. That's what's brought to you by Derek Johnson there here on 96.5 The Fan. Don't forget, it is that time for you to name that year. Coming up on the other side, we'll do that for you. Remember, name the year, and you have a chance to win $500 Hy-Vee gift card. So on the other side, we'll play an audio clip. You call Nathan. You figure out, name that year. You'll be a candidate to win a $500 Hy-Vee gift card. And don't forget, we are also broadcasting live from Radio Row in New Orleans, thanks to our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of your Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, drink responsibly. Fescoe watched the entirety of this game, and I still don't know if he's trolling or if he actually did do it. We'll talk about it on the other side here at 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're caring for an elderly parent, selling their home can feel overwhelming. But one local real estate agent, my friend Dawn Sharp and her team, are helping to change that experience. Recently, Dawn helped a client who was caring for her elderly mother while trying to sell their family home. Dawn and her dedicated team transformed a stressful process into a seamless transition. The marketing and showcasing of the home's best features helped with the home being sold for top dollar. Dawn's team handled every detail with personal care. Let Dawn create a great experience for you. Has your home been on the market without success? An expired listing can feel so frustrating, but it doesn't have to be the end of your journey. The Sharp Homes team specializes in turning things around. In fact, the Sharp Home team can give you options as well. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, well, contact them to discuss their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. You can Google them, Sharp Homes team, or visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com. That's homesforsaleandkc.com, and start packing.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. Here's the best part. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Not happy? They'll come back between visits to make it right. Don't wait. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful. Hi, this is Matayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. Because the spice comes in at just the right moment. Oh, no. The little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
When I wake up, the best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime-forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. And good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with TrueHold. Sell and stay leaseback program. It's a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all the equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
Big game coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Community America Credit Union. Member owned, open to all, invested in you. Join today at CommunityAmerica.com. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 35 southbound, slow rolling from Shawnee Mission Parkway down towards the split with 69 Highway, with police on the scene of a problem. Through the Grandview Triangle, things are just a bit slow, 470 westbound, and then 435 westbound off again, on again, sluggish to the state line. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Welcome back to 96.5 The Fan. We are live on Radio Row in New Orleans, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Kansas City is gearing up for their third straight title, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to rep your team during their historic run. Name that year. Nathan, you've got the audio. You go ahead and play it, and then you'll take caller number 5 for whoever can name that year right by the judgment of this audio clip.
Santos lines it up, puts his right foot into the ground. Winchester turns his left shoulder to wait for the ready signal. So does Colquitt, waiting for the snap. Paceman is down. Santos' kick is lined up. That kick is good. He got it. Santos gets it just barely inside the left upright, and the Kansas City Chiefs have won in overtime with an improbable victory. That kick hit the left upright and went over. It hit the left upright and then just caromed off the inside right upright. A Super Bowl! A Super Bowl! And all of Brazil rejoices again.
Well, if you know the year, caller number 5 right now, and you will qualify to win that Hy-Vee gift card. $500 to Hy-Vee could be yours at the end of the week. What we're going to do is we're going to take a qualifier each week, or each day this week, and caller number 5 will be the winner. They will qualify, and then one of our 5 qualifiers at the end of the week will win that $500 gift card with Hy-Vee, and let Hy-Vee do all of your game day shopping with their aisles online. Just place your online order and schedule a convenient pickup or delivery time. Place your order today and get a 75-cent per gallon fuel discount with any $125 purchase. Hy-Vee has everything you need in one convenient place. Hy-Vee, the official grocery partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
913-586-7965, that number, and the text line number that is brought to you by the J Southland Tow Service text line as well. So I was surprised that you watched as much Pro Bowl as you watched.
Well, I didn't watch any of it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were locked in.
Nope, not for me.
I didn't even know they did the skill set games during the week.
I didn't either. Not my thing.
Didn't even know they'd have it on Sunday at noon.
Didn't either.
Thought that maybe you'd
Not
have
my
it
thing.
on a little bit later.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
just no TV at all when football's over?
Spring training baseball will be starting here soon. I'll be watching a lot of that.
That's close to Pro Bowl.
It's better.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know what that product is anymore. And I'm not here to defend J.J. Watt because he was the one saying that, guys should, really not, decide to take off the Pro Bowl and actually play and participate in it. Maybe that's why it could be a better product. But they went to flag football 7-on-7. They went to a skill set where I think at one point they were wearing Hulk hands to catch footballs. And then the questions, did you see that?
Oh, my gosh.
So the receivers went through a set. And one of them was they had to catch balls from a jug one-handed with coming out of like a pitching machine. You could only use one hand. Had to be a one-hand catch. The next step was they had to put on like these oversized white gloves and catch a football. Then they had to jump over a bag or jump onto a landing bag and catch a diving catch.
Well, I'm surprised this isn't your thing, Bob. This sounds titillating.
I heard a lot of Taylor Swift's friends are not rooting for the Chiefs this week. I mean, like, that to me is more like the Pro Bowl thing is just, I mean, why do we do this anymore?
Why are people surprised that Taylor's friends from back home don't root for the Chiefs? She grew up in Philadelphia.
Right, like,
why are you worried about that? Why are you concerned?
That is the number 2 story on the Philadelphia newspaper this morning. As we were talking storylines earlier for what's going on in this game, and we talked about Saquon Barkley being a big storyline. The storyline is, yes, Taylor Swift's friends are now not going to be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs because obviously they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, I don't know what the surprise is into that. But storylines continue to get pushed forward. Storylines continue to get talked about. And people continue to look around and say Taylor Swift is still the biggest storyline that's happening, around the Super Bowl. Other than the football aspect of things for us, the Taylor Swift phenomenon is still there. And people will find anything to turn into a headline because they know everybody's going to click on that kind of thing. So her friends aren't rooting for the Chiefs this week.
Shout out to Steve, our first qualifier of Name That Year, to qualify for $500 at Hy-Vee for yourself. Thanks to Nathan holding things down back home. Max out here getting Danishes and donuts and oranges and muffins and yogurt.
Live it up, Mac.
Water.
Live it up.
There you go. That's right, baby.
Trying, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. I mean, the storylines are interesting. The way that people have this, I get it. Like, I understand it. Like, people are tired of hearing about it. But the thing is like, I don't know. You always get contradicted sometimes via text line or by people. It's like, well, then why are you guys talking about it? It's like, because we're making a mockery of it. It's not like we're giving you the fuel to, like, create storylines. It's just, like, know your crowd. Like, if a guy went to Columbia and, was a Mizzou Tiger, like, as a college student and then becomes a famous, like, people that would be like, why the hell's John Hamm rooting for Mizzou? Because he went there.
Yeah.
Oh, why would Taylor Swift's friends want to root for Philadelphia? Because they're from there.
Because they're from there, yeah.
She moved to Nashville when she got older and became famous. She grew up in Philadelphia. That's why everyone's like, well, her dad was wearing a Philly jersey and now he was wearing a Chiefs jersey.
Yeah. He's
a turncoat. Or he really loves his daughter and supports everything she does, and her boyfriend is the guy that plays for the Chiefs.
Right, yeah. Like things happen. Life changes. Decisions, change and who you root for and whatnot. And if, your daughter married somebody that played for the Oakland Raiders and was the biggest star in the game, you'd probably become an Oakland Raider fan because you love your kid. And so that's just kind of the way, things go. And so I do think there's going to be a lot of that as well this week of people trying to, run down the Chiefs from that standpoint with the whole Taylor Swift thing. And that's going to drive some people nuts. I'm sure there's a lot of people here, a lot of beef on Radio Row that probably gets offended that Taylor Swift is, being looked at, being talked about maybe more so than the game. But again, this is more so than a game. We're not at the Super Bowl because of that game that's taking place for an entire week here. We're here because of everything that's going on leading up into this game. It is the biggest pop culture event of the year in the United States. It's one of the biggest days on the calendar, not just the sports calendar, but on any calendar. You're going to be 100 and some million people watching this on Sunday, and it has a lot more to do than with the game. Yes, we're going to be dialed in because of the game, but I will guarantee you the majority of people aren't dialed in. They don't care who wins. They're at a Super Bowl party. They want the halftime. They want the Taylor Swift. They want the commercials. And that's just what moves the needle. It's business, right? And Taylor Swift is great for this Super Bowl business because I think they said about 30% of the fans that are going to be watching this thing are probably going to be watching just to see Taylor Swift a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that the main storyline, or maybe one of the storylines that everyone should be focused on, is the fact that it is, the Chiefs' defensive line against that Philadelphia offensive line, which is a little bit beat up, which I don't remember or recall, I guess, the Tampa Bay series, because that was such a weird time to be in sports radio. Like, how many people were bringing up the fact that the Chiefs' offensive line was beat up during that time?
Yeah,
right?
we were, but I
Or was
thought,
it more like it's Mahomes versus Brady in the Super Bowl? It's, whatever the COVID year is, but it's, this team beat Tampa Bay earlier in the season, beat the absolute snot out of them. This is Mahomes, Brady, round 3 or round 2, whatever it is. It's for the Super Bowl. But there was an underlying thing that was like, but the Chiefs' offensive line is beat up, and that defensive line for the Bucs is pretty good.
Yeah, but I think at that point in time, though, I mean, like that was a year where you didn't expect Tampa Bay, obviously, to be in the Super Bowl, and then they went on that run in the postseason. All of a sudden, they're there. You're like, man, I thought, okay, we'll play Tampa. I'm good with that. Eventually, they're going to run out of steam, and the offensive line for the Chiefs is banged up. But we still have Patrick Mahomes. And at that point in time, you looked at Patrick Mahomes, which you still do. He can overcome all. And so for me, I just never considered that to be a true storyline of the Super Bowl when they were playing Tampa, because I just thought Patrick Mahomes would overcome all odds and find a way to get it done regardless. And with the success that Andy Reid's had over the years and Andy Heck has had over the years with offensive linemen, they seemingly just throw 5 guys out there. And it works. They just ran out of guys that they could throw out there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Mike Remmers was a starter in that Super Bowl, and I don't know that he was even on the roster for the championship game. It got down to that where they were literally finding people off the street to have to come in and play that offensive line. So it was as depleted as you could possibly be. I don't know if the Eagles' defensive or offensive line is as depleted as that was, because I don't know enough about the Philadelphia Eagles to know about the inner workings of their offensive line like we did for the Chiefs. But if there are guys that are banged up, then you do have to take advantage of that. And Steve Spagnuolo will. That's why you have 8 defensive linemen that are so fired up and fresh and ready to go in a rotation that's second to none. And that's how you take advantage of their offensive line. You just keep throwing fresh bodies at them. And if guys are fresh and healthy and fast and moving, that offensive line is eventually going to get worn down. So I'd love to see that to be the kind of matchup where the Chiefs just dominate and take advantage of a unit that's weak right now for Philadelphia.
Do you want to take a stab at what year it was that Kyrie Santos hit that field goal and Mitch went nuts?
2016.
Nice. There you go.
Nice.
Did you know that? Or
I did. Oh, dang it.
How did you know it?
Nathan told me.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, don't sit here and be an ass. Like, you didn't know it off the top of your head.
No, Nathan told me.
It's so frustrating. Just let us have fun with the year. 2016, because Bob Fescoe was told by Nathan we couldn't have fun with it. But on the other side, we move along live from Radio Row in New Orleans. And don't forget, we are live here in New Orleans, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Kansas City is geared up for their 3rd straight title, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to rep your team during their historic run. We'll be right back on the other side, and there was one thing that we need to know. The rosters, Eagles, Chiefs, what they will say, but what really is important when it comes down to all of it here in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for 96.5 The Fan. I mean, it's your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, if you're waking up this morning and you're banged up, you're hurt, you feel like, oh, man, I'm achy, my joints. Well, then you need to call my friends at QC Kinetics, because it starts as a nuisance, and then you just put up with it. But then that awful joint pain impacts everything in your life, right? Walking, climbing the stairs, even getting out of the car hurts you right now. I'm talking about a pain that's always there in your joints, your knees, your hips, your shoulder, and back. But here's the good news. QC Kinetics, groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain, long-term relief is now possible. At QC Kinetics, their regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients would tell you, don't wait. Make the call today and talk to the local medical professionals. These new orthobiologic cellular therapies, including PRP treatments, can revitalize your joints without going under the knife. QC Kinetics treatments prompt your body to heal and restore those damaged joints. You won't miss a beat, and there's no downtime. Joint pain does not get better with time. So before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for these life-changing regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, is celebrating KC's third straight big game with the ultimate Wagyu beef bonanza. This week only, buy 2 KC strips and get a third strip end cut free. Or if the tomahawk is your thing, grab the legendary Booth Creek Tomahawk Wagyu steak for 20% off. Booth Creek Wagyu's big game deals are available at both locations, 135th and Metcalf, and the new store at 95th and Knoll. Open 7 days a week or at boothcreekwagyu.com.
98 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of Kansas City has been repairing and replacing garage doors. Locally owned and operated since 1927. Headquartered in Olathe. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. For same-day repair service 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City, 816-221-0072, or schedule online at ohdkc.com.
Jewelrygram, it's your friends at Shane Company, here to remind you that Valentine's Day is Friday, February 14th. It's the most romantic day of the year to give and get fine jewelry. We have expertly crafted gifts for every type of sweetheart. For the one, we'll help you propose with the dream engagement ring. Come see our wide selection of hand-picked natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes. In stock and ready to compare side by side right here in our store. Or maybe you'll fall in love with the natural colorful gemstone. At Shane Company, we're known for our sapphires in every color of the rainbow. We have options for every style and budget. Get creative and design a custom necklace with meaningful charms, including 14-karat gold letters, engravable hearts, and birthstones. Our mother-of-pearl heart-shaped collection makes a perfect gift that's ready to give. At Shane Company, love is always in the air with our unmatched free lifetime warranty, everyday competitive prices, and no-pressure shopping experience. Come see us in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. ShamrockRoofer.com.
Hey folks, it's Karen from Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Thank you for making Shamrock Roofing one of the top 30 roofing companies in the nation. We're family owned and ready to help you with your roof today. Inspect, repair, replace. One call does it all at Shamrock Roofing. Visit ShamrockRoofer.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford online at kcmetroford.com. Kansas side 35 northbound before Mission with an accident blocking the left lane. Things are stacking up quickly with delays building right now towards Antioch. Right now at Metro Ford, you won't find a better selection of F-150s in the city, plus $8,000 off 2024 Explorers and Escapes, all ready to drive off the lot today with a lifetime powertrain warranty. But these deals won't last. Visit kcmetroford.com or stop by Metro Ford on Noland Road in Independence. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs, Eagles, Sunday at 5:30, right here on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Diving right back into it, my buddy Robert, not the Australian one, the one from back home, he texted me, we were talking about your dad roots for your boyfriend, or your daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if my daughter married a part owner for the Broncos, I'm never rooting on them.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's 100% a lie.
I was like, well, if,
You're full of ish, man. Like, you are absolutely full of it. If your daughter married the part owner of the Broncos and you were sitting in suites and living that lifestyle, you would 100% be in. Don't lie to yourself.
Or you'd be like, how much do you really love me? Because I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. I'm just going to root them on and be like, oh, you know what? I'm not in love with your fandom. You treat my daughter with respect. You can root for whoever you want. Yeah. You can call me whatever you want. Whatever that gif is or that meme. It's great. So it's interesting. We were talking about last night because this is another, story point. We're trying to get you guys and ladies and fans and everybody that listens to this show. We appreciate you on 96.5 The Fan. It's a marathon, right? Like, you got to get there. You got to You got to get to Friday. You don't want to just sprint. Like people are on the text line, does Dusty have a curfew in New Orleans? No, I have trust, right? Like, I know what I got to do. I know when I got to be up, when we got to be here. Definitely not as early as we thought today. We kind of overshot it, but hey, what do they tell you? Better early than late, right? So, it's interesting because you look at last night, we're talking about this, and one of the sub-storylines and one of the lines that you'll probably hear more when you watch the national shows that start to wake up and come out here is Philadelphia's roster is loaded. It's a better full-on, and some people will disagree with this, but some people, they will say that the Philadelphia roster from top to bottom is better than the Kansas City Chiefs, and they will start to, go through it. D-line Philly, D-line Kansas City. Hate to bring it to you, they're going to favor the Philadelphia Eagles D-line over the Kansas City Chiefs. O-line versus O-line. Now, if those guys are injured, it's not even close, but they will favor the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line above the Kansas City Chiefs. They will favor the receivers, the running backs, the cornerbacks, and they will say, yeah, well, the Chiefs don't have two awesome quarterbacks. They have one and a decent guy. They have a good offensive line. They have a good defensive line, but they will say that Philly's is better. That's fine. And that's I will listen to that all day, and I can nitpick from wherever I want to go from there. But the one thing that Philadelphia doesn't have is the most important part of the rosters. And when you dissect games and you get ready to play them, one of the first and most important things you can do is say who's coaching and who's playing quarterback. And the Chiefs in Philadelphia couldn't be more opposite on the sides of advantage versus disadvantage than Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, than Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. You can have the overall roster, that's fine. I'll take the two most important roster spots when it comes to a full roster.
And it's interesting that people aren't looking at it that way, because usually when you do matchups, and this is the way that I've been for a very long time, and why I'm so bullish on this Chiefs team is because all they do is have a great quarterback and a great head coach, and that's what you need to win in the NFL. Philadelphia really has bucked the trend on that. Like they've changed it up a little bit. Not that Jalen Hurts is bad and Nick Sirianni isn't a good coach. He is. He's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. But because of the Saquon Barkley effect, I think those guys now have taken a back seat. And because I think Saquon Barkley is the guy that got that team over the hump and gave them what they needed to get here to the Super Bowl. Like, they don't have the best quarterback. They don't have the best head coach. But when you combine it with everything else on the roster, they're actually raising the Q rating of that coach and that quarterback because everybody else around them is better. Now, with the exception of the running back position, which they are better than us at the running back
They're better
position.
than everybody in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. We're talking about Saquon Barkley. But, like, you could probably make an argument that maybe the names are more recognizable with Philadelphia, but that doesn't mean they're a better overall unit than the Kansas City Chiefs on offensive line or defensive line. Like, I don't know that Philly goes 8 deep, and I think that matters in a game like the Super Bowl. People are tired. People are gassed. The game is at a faster speed. Steve Spagnuolo beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl because he went 8 deep on the defensive line when he was the coordinator for the Giants that year and was able to get after Tom Brady and able to get after that offensive line. And so I think having 8 deep on the defensive line outweighs the names, if you will, that are on the defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, Mike Dana's not a household name, but by God, Mike Dana's a football player, okay? Turk Wharton, not a household name. Turk Wharton comes up with big plays. You got a guy like George Karlaftis who's starting to become a household name. Charles Omenihu, obviously Chris Jones. I think people look at the defensive line for the Chiefs and they're like, well, Chris Jones is really the only name that I recognize, so they must not be good on the defensive line. No, they are really good on the defensive line. You just don't know a lot of the names because they're more role players. They're not superstars. They're not in the public as much as obviously a guy like Chris Jones or Jalen Carter or guys of that nature. But together as an entire unit, those 8 guys just rotate in, and they're always fresh, and they're always ready to go, and they're always ready to beat you. Like, Mike Dana is such a good football player that nobody talks about. That's why the Chiefs signed that guy in the offseason and paid him money, because he's a really good football player. And this offensive line has been nothing short of spectacular since they moved Joe Thuney to left tackle. And so you can talk about the offensive line having better names in Philadelphia, but the way that this Chiefs offensive line is playing right now, it's the best they've played maybe in years with the way that Joe Thuney has been at left tackle.
And that's fine. Let them all know who Charles Omenihu is after the game's over and the confetti is in the color of red and yellow.
Yeah.
And, we remember the game against Philadelphia in 2022, right? What do you say, Mac? Philadelphia was considered the better roster?
Best roster in the NFL.
How'd that turn out?
Exactly.
But I think a lot of that is just smoke and mirrors, and that's the narrative that people push because of Howie Roseman. I don't know how he got on this pedestal all by himself as the greatest general manager in the NFL, but that's the narrative, right? That's the perception that this guy, oh my God, he walks on water and he does so many great things. How many rings does Howie Roseman have? But for whatever reason, the national media looks at him like he's boy wonder. He's a genius. Meanwhile, Brett Veach is over here going, yeah, we'll trade Tyreek Hill and be in the Super Bowl 3 consecutive years. Like, what has Howie Roseman done to have his Q rating higher than Brett Veach's? He plays in Philadelphia. He's probably a little more popular than his head coach is, with the Philadelphia Eagles. But people act like that guy invented rosters in the NFL. Like, I hate to break the news to you, the guy you're competing against has done a much better job at building rosters and sustaining success than what Howie Roseman has done in Philadelphia. I think this is a good general manager game too. Will Brett Veach finally get the respect that I can say it? I've heard others say it. Boomer says it on WFAN. I almost said it. Will he finally get the GD respect? I mean, will Brett Veach get the GD respect that he deserves, or will we still be praising? Eagles lost, but God, Howie Roseman's a great general manager. Brett Veach wins another Super Bowl. Oh, let's talk about how great Howie Roseman built a roster and how good his March is. Eventually, we have to recognize what's going on here, and Brett Veach is head and shoulders above everybody else. But again, the narrative naturally is Howie Roseman's a boy wonder.
Martha, where are the GD Garden Lanterns? Dennis the Menace, 1994. Walter Matthau, R.I.P. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was obviously the poll that came. This has been a while ago, but they had him as the best general manager in football. Brett Veach was number 2, but
why? How could you even say that? It's lies, it's deceit, it's misinformation. It's wow. It is. I mean, all the people.
That's
are here
another
now.
one I called.
Yeah, you did. You got that early.
That's awesome. On a Monday morning.
Ready to roll.
The people here will be awesome.
Yeah.
We will be doing our job around the clock, trying to find you information. But
why would people vote Howie Roseman as the better general manager than Brett
that
Veach,
guy's show
right?
Content.
And nobody does. And look at the numbers. And here's the thing. Like Howie Roseman gets the credit because he's working with a coach who's perceived as the village idiot. Brett Veach is working with a coach that's considered the greatest head coach of all time, yet people don't understand and don't want to understand that Andy Reid has ceded all of this to Brett Veach and his staff, and they go out there and they turn this roster over again. There's 7 guys remaining from our first Super Bowl, and they still continue to win. If that doesn't tell you how great a player personnel department is and how great a general manager is, what more information do you need? They get better. They get rid of star players, and they get better as an organization.
Yeah, it is interesting because we talked about that last week, the window of opportunity. And Brett Veach and company just have an open house with an Attic fan on 24/7 in a nice fall weather because it just never stops. There's never a riff. There's never anything like that. Maybe we just keep enjoying this ride, not worry about it. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Brett's not the guy who's out there, jonesing for attention or anything like that. If he walked through the radio row, maybe a couple people. I think that may be Brett Veach or Howie Roseman walks in. You got the person in Coming to America throwing rose petals out there and washing the royal penis and everything. What are we doing here?
You can watch the show on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch, presented by our partners at Technology Group Solutions, the official IT provider of your Kansas City Chiefs. Also, don't forget the big game coverage on 96.5. The Fan is brought to you by Community America Credit Union, member-owned, open to all, invested in you. Join today at CommunityAmerica.com. Coming up on the other side, we will continue to dive into what this game means and what the trade in the NFL could mean for one Luka to the Lakers, what that trade comps to, what it would look like in the NFL, because what a devastating day for the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes content from the show. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, you're looking for something fun to do and some entertainment to have this week as you're trying to kill time before the big game. The kids need to blow off some steam. Maybe you want to go out, blow off some steam, and just take your frustrations out on the bowling pins. Well, you can do that with Foaling, because Foaling is football plus bowling plus bar, and that equals Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. And you've got to see it to believe it. It is awesome, unbelievable, and one of the coolest things you will ever do. It is bowling with a football. You're going to set up the bowling pins. You're going to throw the football, you're going to knock them down, and the first one to get them all down is going to be your big winner. That's what happens at Foaling. Then you hit that boncorn, or you hit the middle pin, the boncorn goes off, and everybody celebrates. You get to put your name on the wall. Foaling is perfect for kids. It's perfect for adults. It's perfect for birthday parties, corporate events, whatever you want. Foaling is the spot for you. They've got an awesome bar with amazing cocktails and a great beer selection. Plus, you can cater your own event as well. Bring food from anywhere when you're planning an event at Foaling. Reserve a lane now at FoalingKC.com. That's FoalingKC.com. And get your Foal on.
When you have an expert financial partner invested in you, you can't help but feel like a star. Like the new graduate opening their first investment account, the small business owner proudly adding a new location, or the young couple buying their first home. At Community America, we're invested in helping members achieve financial peace of mind with products and services tailored to each stage of life. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, and even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At Heartland Men's Health, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
I want to tell you about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. One of my guilty pleasures during football season is eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies and so much more while watching the big game. And now Daisy came out with a Daisy French Onion Dip, a Daisy Ranch Dip, and these are a game changer. They're as good as homemade dips because they have real herbs and spices in them. They're ingredients you'll find in your own kitchen. So you need to get out to the store now and give Daisy French Onion Dip a try. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip everywhere.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound, heavy from before Mission down towards the Shoto Trafficway with an accident in the left lane. Kansas side 35 northbound, you hit slow down past Shawnee Mission Parkway. Stay slow up past 635 with an earlier problem at Mission that has cleared to the shoulder. The Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Diving right back into it, don't forget tonight is the opening ceremony of the Super Bowl as both teams get to show themselves to the city of New Orleans, and all of us that get to stay there late night getting all the action is opening ceremony. Is there anybody that you think is going to bring it? Like, is there somebody's got to, like, kind of set the tone? Because I remember the last time they played this game, it was like, because it's tough, right? With the NFC, AFC, you don't really have a whole lot, but then you think about it and you,
right.
Well, these teams just played each other 2 years ago in this game, so some of these guys are, so you said, some of the guys still on the roster, not a whole lot. Obviously, Devonta Smith is on that roster, A.J. Brown was on that roster, Jalen Hurts on that roster, Sirianni was there. This is one of those type of games where it's like, okay, is this going to be, are they going to let some things out? Or Philadelphia going to be like, we're going to be professional. We're just going to, go through the motions. We're excited to be here, all the cliches. Or will somebody maybe, drop that line? Let us know that, there is a game on Sunday and it's only Monday.
Oh, so you're looking like who's gonna be the S talker this week?
That's right.
Okay, because I was thinking like when you first started, like who's gonna do something strange and bizarre. It's always somebody you're not expecting, right? Like Patrick Mahomes isn't going to walk out, do something strange, or Travis Kelce probably won't do something like that. Like a Drew Tranquil kind of lines up for that, like kind of a backup guy, not one of the big name players. Like those are the guys that tend, the kickers sometimes will go out there, the punters, and do some fun stuff and have a good time. Look, nobody on the Chiefs is going to say anything that's going to be bulletin board material. I think we've all learned that over the years, right? Like that just doesn't work in Andy Reid's playbook. And the only time that we've seen it recently was with Justin Reid a couple of years ago with the Cincinnati Bengals when he talked a little smack and Andy Reid put the kibosh on that and it was over and they moved on, right? Like that was kind of the only S talking that went on with the Kansas City Chiefs really since Andy Reid has been here. And look, when Tyreek Hill left, he started all the S talking everywhere else. So Andy doesn't allow that. The Chiefs are not going to give anybody bulletin board material. I don't know if you've watched the Four Falls of Buffalo.
It's on Netflix.
On 30 for 30 ESPN,
yeah, I saw it,
right?
yeah.
I was watching it over the weekend, and it was interesting because there was some stuff that you don't know. Obviously you're watching something like, I never do that. The Bills had an assistant coach that year when they played the Redskins in the Super Bowl. So I believe it was their second Super Bowl after they'd lost to the Giants on the Scott Norwood. The following year they played the Redskins, right? And they had this offensive line coach who ultimately turned into a talk radio show host in Buffalo. And I can't remember the guy's name right now. It's irrelevant, right? But he was like an assistant offensive or defensive line coach for the Bills that year. And at media day, he started making fun of the Washington Redskins offensive line. They were known as the Hogs back then, right? And he was sitting there going, pig suey, and these guys are slobs,
that's Arkansas.
and all this kind of nasty stuff, right? And so you go by the Hogs, obviously it's going to be, it's a fun nickname because you're offensive lineman. That was their moniker for all those years. Well, this guy on media day or whatever has started in on them, insulted them, made fun of them, and they went out there and destroyed that Buffalo defensive line. And the guys on the Buffalo team and the Washington team, I should say, the Redskins that year, they said, look, if this guy didn't do all the talking, we would have played good football, but that fired us up to the next level, and that was the reason we ended up winning this Super Bowl. Marv Levy fired that guy off his staff the day after the Super Bowl, and he never coached in the NFL again. And he went and became a talk radio host in Buffalo
was that by
for the
choice,
rest of his life.
or was
Yeah,
that...
he had such a bad reputation
Okay,
around the league.
And it's time to move on.
Yeah, Marv Levy's like, he goes, I hated a guy more ever than this guy, and I had to fire him because of how detrimental he was by saying stuff. And so people can sit around and say it doesn't matter. But it does. And if you give somebody a little bit of bulletin board material, as we know from Patrick Mahomes, guys, like they're going to take that to the next level and they're going to utilize that. And so if you're on the Philadelphia side of things, like probably don't do anything that's going to poke the bear because it will get back to the Chiefs and they will use that as motivation. We're all human beings. We all have that kind of next level in us. And if somebody's going to say something to us that's going to fire us up, we're going to use that as motivation.
Yeah, because I remember last year when Kelsey got there, it was, he was on the stage and he was like, boo, they were booing. He's like, oh, I hear the boos.
Right.
Like, they just kind of embraced it. It wasn't really like, necessarily like some sort of like garbage talk towards the other person. It was just like, I'm just embracing what's the situation. Because I assume, and we're there tonight and waiting for the, the whole thing to be over, then maybe you get a couple interviews or something like that. I assume there will be a majority of boos. Again, I know last year when they played the Niners, they were in close to Niner country.
Yeah, I think it's like a $25 ticket to get into media night tonight, and it's in the Dome, and you get to be part of, everything that's going on. You watch it on NFL Network or whatever channel they're televising this thing on tonight, and, it is the free-for-all. I mean, it is the night where the reporters dress crazy, they ask the crazy questions, the kid report, all of that stuff that you see from Super Bowl week, all of that goes on tonight. And, again, it's nothing new for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's nothing new, really, for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I don't think it's anything that's going to get out of hand. You just hope, if you're the head coach of either of these teams, that you've prepared your guys enough to say, hey, shut the F up, don't say anything, and let's play this game on Sunday without giving people the opportunity to go out there and use it as motivation. Because once I watched that thing on Saturday about the Bills, I'm like, damn, I didn't realize we could have that kind of impactful type of, firing up by an offensive line coach sitting at lunch going, these guys are slobs, they're drooling from the mouth, and they're like, screw you, pal, we're going to go out there and kick your ass. And they did.
I still think it's funny that clip from, I think it's Peyton Manning from the Pro Bowl, where he's like, yeah, our idiot kicker over here. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like that's call him out.
Like, the assistant offensive line coach and the kicker, like, go back to bed. You can't really do much here but mess things up. And so,
I still love that audio clip.
Yeah.
Our idiot kicker over there, Vanderjack's drunk. Basically is what he's saying. Like, well, if you're going to get thrown under by Peyton, you pretty much might as well, go somewhere else.
And Vanderjack's like, now I want to be in the Colts Ring of Honor, right? And they're like, no, I don't think that's going to happen, man. Like Peyton Manning got to give his blessing before you can be in the Colts Ring of Honor. But I don't Harrison Butker's not going to do that. The punter's not going to do that. The long snap, guys aren't going to do that kind of stuff to go out there and set the world ablaze. The Chiefs, as we know from a media standpoint, are a very boring football team, right? Very boring football team from a media standpoint. Keep it that way. This is the perfect week to be vanilla and boring and say nothing. Let Philadelphia do the talking, but I don't even think unless A.J. Brown decides to say something, but nobody's going to ask him about the game. It's all going to be about what books he reads.
Yeah, just sugarcoat or beignet the questions that are like, well, what do you think about a legacy? Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. Speaking of legacies, there was a legacy style of trade in the NBA. Bob, I don't know how to explain this without maybe sounding over the top, but this is one of the trades in recent time that I can honestly say, holy cow. It's one of those things where, I think it has that reaction. I think it merits that reaction because there are so many different facets of this Luka Doncic trade to the Lakers. And I know people go, I don't want to hear about the NBA. It's the biggest news that happened this weekend. And, in fact, if it was week 9 of the NFL season and this trade came out, it would still be the biggest news because you don't have to follow the NBA, but you know who Luka Doncic is, right? Everybody knows who this kid is. You don't have to follow the NBA and know who the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks are. We all know who those teams are. It's the fact that, like, when this trade happened, you look at one side and you're like, the hell are they doing? And then you look at the other side and you're like, I know exactly what they're doing. One side is saying our superstar and our leader is phasing out of the NBA. We know this because his damn son's playing in the NBA, which means if you're playing in the NBA at the same time that your son is, one of very obvious
for you.
Yeah, right. And so
it's coming to an end.
The Lakers look at this and a typical bus type of trade, right? Like this is what she does, this is what the family's done. Like make a big splash. They brought in LeBron. They paid Kobe.
Shaq,
they brought in Shaq.
Yeah.
They brought all these guys in. Now Kobe obviously was a draft day trade, but whatever. And you look at what they did with their franchise. Whenever their franchise starts to kind of trickle down and people start to disbelief in the Lakers, they go do something. And this is something where not only did they get the NBA to talk, it got the entire sports world to talk. And there's no shyness away of what's going on this weekend. The Super Bowl's happening this weekend. And everybody on Monday, I walked around just to cherry pick off what everybody's. 4 out of the 5 booths that I walked by, not a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of people here yet, was Lakers, Luka, Mavericks.
Yeah, because it's such a big, it's a big, pop culture topic as well. And the trade for me doesn't register. I'm not an NBA fan. I'm like, okay, let's look into this one, right? Like, let's dive deep into this one. Mm-hmm. And the first comment that I saw from the Lakers was, we got a global superstar. And immediately I'm like, okay, here's what we're doing. We're trying to grow our global brand. It's all about growing the brand, getting more of the market share. But America's tapped out when it comes to sports. And so now all these teams and organizations and leagues are trying to grow their brand outside the United States of America. There's no secret in that, right? The Chiefs own Germany, right? So we're sitting here watching this trade go down, and then the first comment from the Lakers is, we've acquired a global superstar. And immediately I went, oh, okay, this is why they're growing their brand. They know LeBron ain't going to be here forever, and that's a good take by you to say, hey, they're moving forward, because that's what the Chiefs did with Tyreek Hill. It's the same type of trade where you wake up and you go, oh, my God, they traded somebody that is so good. Why did they do that, right? Well, they did that to try to increase their brand globally with Luka, because he's an international player. They'll sell jerseys, T-shirts, all of that kind of stuff. They'll make a boatload of cash. But also the other flip side is the end is coming faster for LeBron James. And when he does walk away, now you're not missing a beat. Now you're not mired in the likes of, I don't know, the Sacramento Kings and the Portland Trail Blazers, where you lose a star and it's all over. You've replenished. You've already backfilled for that star. And that's what Brett Veach does so wonderfully. He's always backfilling. So when Nick Bolton or Travarius Ward or Tyreek Hill or whoever walks away, the next guy is already there in the fold, and you don't miss a beat. It really is a beautiful move from that standpoint on the Lakers. I got to know, though, man, what was the underlying thing in Dallas? I got to know what the more to the story is, because if you're Dallas, you don't trade a guy in his prime that helped you to the NBA Finals for a guy that's 31 years old unless there's something there. And that's what I got to find out. What prompted Dallas to do this trade? Because from their standpoint, you're right, it does not make sense at all. But what's the underlying factor to it? There's got to be something there.
There's definitely some sort of something in it, because they're fat shaming Luka media wise, saying like, oh, he's 270, he couldn't lose weight, maybe fat shaming's a little strong on my part, but there's definitely weight issues, and his the way he kind of trains, like if he could just diet and work out, and it's been known from around the league that he's not super huge into it. He's just my skill set's fine, my body's fine. He's NBA Finals last year. So the Luka thing is
Patrick Mahomes plays with a dad bod.
Right, but again, they fat shame Patrick Mahomes.
I know.
How am I losing to this guy that's out of shit? It's because you do. I don't know.
Some people's bodies are just what their bodies are, and no matter what they do, they're never going to be an Adonis, right?
Paul Pierce is the king of that take. Paul Pierce was like the chubby athletic dude that you're like, yeah, you're not like defined, but like you're not fat.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
The best player in the league is fat. Nikola Jokic is going to be a top 10 player of all time. He's not in shape.
Yeah, but he's also 7 foot and can do every single skill set there is. But again, to your point, like Giannis is like a Greek freak. Why? Because he is that big and that ripped and that shredded. We're like, that's just freakish. That's not normal.
But you know how many people I've seen that look great as an athlete that aren't good players in sports? I mean, you see it all the time. You know, you see these guys like, my God, that guy should be so good. And then he's like, a zero, Like, so to me, like the whole body shaming thing, I
that's
understand.
one of them. That's one of your underlining. The other thing is ownership. There was a scene last year where they went to the Western Conference Finals and Luka was drinking a beer and the owner came over and like took it out of his hand. He's like, the hell?
Yeah.
Like, what? We're not sober? He's like, not you. So, like, that's kind of one of those things where, like, we watch all these Netflix, you go back and you look and see if you can find the smoking gun and the crime scene. And it's like,
but where did that come from? Why did they take the beer away from him then? Why didn't they like him back then? Like what is the real reason that Dallas gave up? Like, I understand, like, if you trade Tyreek Hill, you still have Patrick Mahomes. You're still in a great spot with your organization.
Oh, yeah.
Why did Dallas do what they did? And I know the GM has said AD plays defense and, Luka doesn't, whatever the case may be. Nobody's going to watch defense in professional basketball. You really have to do a good job, if you're the Mavericks, of spinning this and justifying to your fans why you decided to trade him. And you almost have to, if you're Dallas, and I hate to say it this way, kind of go on a smear campaign to let your fans know, because if you're a Mavericks fan today, you're probably not waking up with a lot of trust for your organization. Just like I'm sure when Tyreek was traded, there were a lot of Chiefs fans that didn't wake up with a lot of trust of the Chiefs organization. Going, oh my God, what are they doing? Because I remember listening to people for weeks.
But he doesn't have the clout that, like, Luka has. Like, this would be one thing where, like, you woke up the next morning and, like, Patrick Mahomes is gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Like, the hell? Like, this, to me, and maybe this is an egregious take, but, like, if I was, like, a 10-year-old Dallas fan, 15-year-old between that window, I'm no longer a Dallas fan. I have pictures of Luka in my room. I have a jersey of Luka Doncic, and you didn't give me anything to kind of get excited for, right? This isn't the Clinton Portis and Champ Bailey trade where both teams, like, benefited with, like, guys in their primes. Like, Clinton Portis was, I don't know, 25, 26, still had a lot of gas left in the tank. Champ Bailey obviously came over to Denver. We know how good he was against us for all those years.
Right.
But this was more so like you traded Josh Allen for Matthew Stafford. Like, Josh Allen got you to the AFC Championship game again. Well, he didn't beat Patrick Mahomes. He's I don't know. And we're going to go get a guy that we know it's won and is aging, but he's good still, and he can get us a couple years. Like, when you do the say it out loud test in this trade, it just does not make sense.
Right.
Because, like, even if I think I saw a funny meme on this morning that had, like, NBA 2K. And it was, like, Luka to first for AD to the Lakers. And it was, like, absolutely not trade voided. And, I mean, Luka loses money in this deal. So I'm with you to a certain extent to where, like, he did something in Dallas or there was some sort of story in Dallas where they just absolutely hate each other, butted heads, whether it was family, whether it was, like, being a, prima donna or a diva, whatever it was. But you just don't, like, let a guy like that go for what you got back.
Well, and that's the thing. The return on investment wasn't great. You say Luka loses money. I'll disagree with you because now you're a Laker. And being a Laker opens the doors to everything else.
I guess I meant so in the max contract.
Yeah, right.
So,
Like from that standpoint,
right.
Salary standpoint, yes. Patrick Mahomes loses money in his contract.
Right.
But he makes it up on the back end. He makes it up with those endorsements. And I know you guys are NBA fans. Ain't nobody knows who the Dallas Mavericks are, but everybody knows who the Los Angeles Lakers are. And that's like the Yankees. That's like the Chiefs. That's like the Lakers. Those are your premier teams in sports across the world. Everybody knows who the Los Angeles Lakers are. And now you've got this global superstar on the Lakers. Luka's going to cash in from a global aspect of money and endorsements all over the world that he couldn't get when he was playing for the Dallas Mavericks because their uniforms suck and nobody really knows anything about them except for Mark Cuban.
I kind of like their jerseys.
Do you?
Yeah, I like that blue-green. I don't know what it is.
They just
green
changed.
one,
like
yeah.
I like the old like green Mavericks
with like the
jerseys,
little cowboy
hat.
little hat. Yeah,
that was
those
cool.
are cool.
But like Dallas, I don't know. Their uniforms just don't.
Am I the only one? Also, maybe this is our age group, Bob, where like Dallas was the first team you played on NBA Jam because they sucked. Like you always played Dallas first.
Yeah.
It was always like Jason Kidd and like Leitner as the Mavericks, or the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
And then you got to pick whoever you want, but you always had to play the Dallas Mavericks first.
Yeah, Dallas.
In NBA Jam, it was always
like,
Jason freaking Kidd.
It's a nondescript team when it comes. Like there's most of the teams in professional sports to this day are nondescript teams. And if you play for one of these teams that is a global brand, you're so much better off as an athlete for what you can accomplish.
Let it come out that Kyrie manipulated this whole thing because him and Jason Kidd, I guess, are tight.
Yeah, well, apparently Jason Kidd didn't even know about this.
And Kyrie doesn't like LeBron.
Right.
And he's like, well, maybe I don't like Luka because he's a diva and I want to run the team and I want to be the alpha. So I'm going to send him to LeBron and let him deal with it. Watch this. And then out of nowhere, it's like the dark horse of the trade. It's like, Kyrie the whole time is the one that got this thing set off, and then that would blow the sports world.
Oh, that would absolutely. Yeah.
Then I'd be like, all right, the Super Bowl can wait.
Yeah.
Like we're doing this. I just still could not believe that trade. Like I woke up back Saturday night and I was like, I mean, I know I'm not supposed to be awake right now, but is this real?
It's insane, man.
I was like, I'll look at it again tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of our Odyssey guys over at Dallas, and he was saying, yeah, I was talking to some people with the Mavericks. You know, he's got his own personal trainers. He's got his own group, and apparently they don't push him hard enough, and they're not making him cut weight. They're not giving him a good nutrition.
26 and 10 a game?
I don't care. I'm just like, cool, whatever. Making your life work. Get a food psychologist. Yes.
Like until the results aren't there, leave him alone.
Babe Ruth could have hit 70 if he wasn't hitting cigs and drinking bourbon in the dugout.
I mean, what Mickey Mantle always said, like how great a player he could have been if he wasn't drunk all the time.
That's also true.
I mean, so you look around at a lot of these guys and in the way that they go about their life. If they're dropping 20 and 10 every night, or throwing for 300 yards, or cranking 50 homers a year, or pitching perfect games, or whatever it is, who cares what they're doing? It's working for them. And I know we're in like this weird sports science age where everything's magnified and everything's talked about body-wise, food-wise, and all the studies and stuff that work out there, and that's wonderful, and we should have it. But a lot of times stuff doesn't work for everybody.
It's the stats.
It is. but a lot of times, it just doesn't work for anybody. And if Luka were to shed 30 pounds, maybe he's not the same type of player that he is right now. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
No doubt about it. Coming up on the other side, we'll dive more into what this game means for the Kansas City Chiefs legacy-wise and some New Orleans stories of what we had last night. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty. Subscribe and watch the show on YouTube by going to our channel at The Fan 965, Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. The new year is here. Home values are up, and you have more home equity than ever. Now is the time to put that home equity to work for you. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Credit card balances are at an all-time high. Why pay 25 to 30% interest to them when you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call? Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. We have no fee to apply and no out-of-pocket costs. And if you call today, you could make no payments for 2 months. But don't wait. This rate won't last forever. Imagine how good it will feel to have those bills paid off. At Golden Oak Lending, we can make that happen in as little as 14 days. And if for any reason your loan doesn't close, we will pay for your appraisal. Call today and take advantage of our 5.25 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Casey's has 8 new coffee roasts that have been described as having rich aromatics that entice any palate. But, we're not sure what that means, so we just call it darn good coffee. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. Now get a small hot coffee for 99 cents. See Casey's for details.
Game day is almost here, Kansas City. Come to Dick's to get your new Chiefs gear and make sure you're ready for the big game. Shop our huge selection of Chiefs tees, hats, and hoodies for the whole family. If they win, come back to select Dick's stores after the game to be the first to get the same hats and tees the team will wear in the locker room. Shop in store, shop online at Dix.com, or get curbside pickup immediately after the game. Every championship season starts at Dick's.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, Hims can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form.